Don't you ever wonder what life is like somewhere else? This April, meet the new girl.
It's me!
She may look like everyone else.
Just fly under the radar.
Who told you I could fly?
But she is very different. Get ready for a new Nickelodeon series.
I don't know what your secret is, but I'm going to find out.
The Other Kingdom. Starts Sunday, April 10th. Only on Nick.
The Other Kingdom was a fantasy sitcom on Nickelodeon from 2016. This was during their pseudo-fantasy arc on the channel. We've talked about Night Squad, I'ma Need Some Time with Every Which Way, and while the other video is still cooking, let's talk about The Other Kingdom. This is another one of those shows that I may have caught a bumper or two, but never actually watched the full episode. From the trailer, it seems fine, nothing special, but at least on the surface, nothing that would warrant a single season. So let's find out what happened to The Other Kingdom. And where's the best place to start? That's right, the pilot. The episode starts with one of our leads, Devon, struggling to get out of bed.
I'm staying home and letting the internet educate me, Dad. That's what Mark Zuckerberg did. Devon Quince, the next Mark Zuckerberg.
TV shows made being a freshman either the most terrifying, nerve-wracking thing, How do you mean freshman beatdown? Like, I just got here. Why you say fuck me for? This legit happened in my school. They would wait for you to enter a bathroom and then they just beat your ass. One dude even pulled out a belt. Yeah, real spill. And if it isn't that, then there's this constant fear of being judged or getting lost. I've seen enough TV shows to know what not to do, but I did get lost my first day. Sat in an entire class that I wasn't supposed to be in. But back to the show. His dad also mentions that the foreign exchange student they're hosting is coming and he needs Devon to make a good first impression.
Come on, champ. Our foreign exchange student arrives from England tomorrow. Can't have him going to school and you not.
It's not an exchange student if we're not exchanging anyone, Dad. It's just a kid with an accent moving in with us.
I've never been an exchange student, but I'm pretty sure that's not how that works. Alright, so from the beginning, we're led to believe that this world has magical creatures in it, and one of them appears to be crushing on a human. And I can only assume that the magical creatures can interact with the world, but nobody can see them.
Who? Never mind.
Magic must be everywhere in this world, because his chocolate milk magically gets a cap during rotation, then spills onto the floor. I don't know what these are yet, but they're kind of dicks, so why did they do that? We follow these magic things to a portal in a tree that takes them back to their world, and it's here where we meet our lead, Astral. We quickly learn more about her and this world. She is the princess of the Kingdom of Athenia, and her parents, the king and queen, are concerned about her growing interest in the others, which is what they call humans. Also, this troll is here.
Oh yeah.
During the scolding, we officially find out that these creatures are fairies, and according to the king, their whole job is to bring mischief to the others.
Our job as fairies is to cause mischief to the others.
He forbids her from ever going back, saying that her place is here to one day rule as queen.
You're no longer allowed to visit the others' realm. Your place is in Athenia, where you will learn to become the princess that your people deserve.
Uncle Loeb's laying down the...
Astral goes to her mom, hoping she'd change the king's mind, but she stands with him. She tells her that the others are far too gone. They don't even remember a time where fairies were part of their lives.
Astral, the others are a young race. They have so much to learn. They don't remember that we were once their guides.
So the whole mischievous thing is fairly new. How long ago were y'all cool with the humans? What kind of falling out did y'all have? Astral is not hearing any of it, saying that her crush is different. He's too pretty to be bad, while also questioning how the queen can understand how she feels. She takes a moment to show her all the crystals that surrounds them, saying each one contains a memory of a fairy that's walked amongst the others.
Lessons we've learned, mistakes we've made, they're all recorded in these crystals. You can learn everything you need about others right here.
From here, we get the usual back and forth. Parents wanting to protect their kids while also believing that anything other than their responsibilities doesn't matter. While the kid wants freedom and the ability to make their own mistakes and become their own person.
My word is final.
You don't know.
No buts!
You just
Astral! Don't contradict me!
You're not the boss to me.
But she is though. As your mother and queen, her word is law. She's basically committing treason right here. Also, if she was banned from going back, why was nobody on guard at the tree? She runs away to the other world to blow off some steam or light, I guess? How the hell did none of you see or hear this bright ass light in the night sky? The hell you think it was, the moon? But back in Athenia, Astral and the king get a chance to talk, and it's here where the main plot of the show gets going. Astral invokes some kind of agreement or rite of passage called the Other Walk. Essentially, she will stay in the human world for 90 days as a way to find herself in the hopes that she'll become a better fairy princess or some shit. It's fairy law.
What if something were to happen?
It's only 90 days. I'll learn about the others and then I'll come back.
Weird how this is just now coming up, especially since you put her on punishment and now she can just go back for 90 days, nigga? But this walk comes with a choice at the end. Either come back to rule or stay with the humans forever. Why was the conflict not this? Like, why was the conflict not her wanting to take the other walk and the parents not approving? Like, you could have kicked the show off with this. We didn't really need the first half of the episode. After her goodbyes, she's off on the other walk, and she's joined by Oswald, who looks and acts like as if Puss in Boots was a real person.
Oswald the Great cannot be concealed in a high school. I cannot wear the skinny jeans.
Is it just me, or does she look completely different? Like, for a second, I wasn't even sure this was the same actress. And I know not much has changed on paper besides like the lighting, makeup, and those fake ears, but they do a hell of a lot more than Night Squad. Yes, that still pisses me off. Why the hell are you gasping for? She just put a crown on. Once back in the human world, she ends up being the foreign exchange student from before. They were fully expecting someone else, so I guess she just bullshit her way in here.
I thought a boy was coming.
Well, so did my parents, but here I am.
So what happened to the original guy? That was supposed to be a real exchange student. He had documents and everything. Homie just goes, oh well, and keeps it moving?
You're taller than I thought you'd be. But I guess everyone looks so small when you're flying above them.
Why would you say that?
Bruh, you just got here. It's barely been 5 minutes and she's already almost blown her cover. Your dad was right. You're not ready for this. Devon shows her her room and she begins to unpack from this Mary Poppins ass bag. And once unpacked, her excitement consumes her so much she legit starts tweaking. Alright, so this next bit kinda threw me. To my surprise, Devon's dad calls the exchange office and the fairies cover for her.
Thank you, Mr. Quince. The student exchange program appreciates your understanding of this mix-up.
So this was low-key set up from the beginning, just to make sure no one asked any questions. Alright, I'll give him that. That was fairly thought out. The next day at school, Devon is giving her some advice about how to lay low.
You better lay low.
But she is soon distracted once she sees Tristan again. She deadass walks up to him and talks like they've known each other for years, just to blow some fairy dust on him to force him to fall in love with her, again putting her secret in jeopardy. You are so bad at this. Get off the stage, you suck. Also, I don't know what they do in fairy world, but here, forcing people to do anything without consent will get your wings flipped. Sometimes, you know, results may vary. Eventually, she gets another chance to make a good first impression, and again ruins it by being weird.
You and I are soulmates, and we are destined to be together.
I think I've got gym practice.
What's wrong with just a hi? You know, a hello? How you doing? Anything would have been better than what you just did. Completely embarrassed by what she said, she enchants him again with an enchantment called Glimmer, which makes someone forget the last 30 seconds.
You glimmer him?
I had to make him forget what a fool I made of myself.
And what happens if he does fall for you? Are you really willing to give up being fairy queen for prom queen?
Hey, Oswald got a point. You're trading a real crown for a fake one. And the episode ends with us finding out what actually happened to the real exchange student.
Hello? Must have made a wrong turn at Main Street.
How did he get here? He didn't come from the tree. Did homie take the back door? Did you walk here? What bus dropped you off close enough to wind up here? You know what? Questions for later. And that was The Other Kingdom, the pilot. I thought it was decent for the most part. I still feel like the first half didn't have to happen, but once they got the ball rolling and we saw what the show was about, yeah, I thought it was fine. It's fairly funny, the characters in the world seem interesting. Yeah, it was okay. Also, I see why some people compare this show to Star Vs, and I did get some Sabrina the Teenage Witch vibes, but those calling it a ripoff or overly similar, I disagree. It does a lot on its own that sets it apart. Now, regarding the rest of the show, I now know why it only had one season. Let me start by saying that this show has some potential, as most do. It started pretty basic in terms of a Nick sitcom, but midway through the show, it started to switch up the flow a little bit. It had some interesting episodes and stories, and right when it started to pick up some speed, it ran right into a brick wall, killing everyone involved. Let's start with the good. This show's funny. Like, the humor was one of the show's bright spots for me. It's the typical humor you would see on Nick, but it has some bite to it, and a unique charm.
Someone should really proofread this map. They spelled Atlantis wrong. Atlanta? And it's totally in the wrong place.
Bitch! Give her a break, Mr. Trainer. English is her second language.
Devon, they speak English in England.
Touché, sir. Well played.
How can anyone get so barfy over Astral?
Oh, that name just makes me want to sing. Oh, Astral. That party was outrageous.
Wait, what?
You're a legend. It was totally awesome. My face will serve as a living tribute to you, Devo. Long live.
First you give me attitude when all I was trying to do is help you. And now you land me in the clink. How am I supposed to explain this to my dad?
That's Astral's trademark, getting other people in trouble.
Can we stop all this arguing, please? We've been in here for 12 minutes.
The characters were fun and fairly interesting. I'll talk more about her later, but Haley Grimm got me through the whole show, and that's all I'm gonna say about it right now. I enjoyed some of the magical elements, like the crystals were kind of cool. I liked how Astral would book in an episode speaking into it, storing memories like her mom and the other fairies. She got that bottomless bag. Apparently, there's a thing called a troll potion and troll magic.
Wasn't all crazy after you had Brandoni give him that love potion. Everybody knows you can't trust troll magic. It's too unpredictable.
I like the detail that most of their fairy abilities are based in nature, hence why they can talk to animals and plants. Her enchantments were kind of weird and oddly specific. She has an enchantment for cleaning, she has it for finding people, she levitates in her sleep, there's your Sabrina's reference, bringing plants back to life, and of course you have Glimmer, which has come in clutch for her on many occasions, and is the only spell I would actually want. She can make people fall in love by force, which she uses quite a lot. She's forced 3 different girls to fall for Devon. She's made Devon's dad and the principal fall in love for an episode. This is her most used spell. She's even forced half of the school to fall in love, using so much power that it knocks her out. Got niggas dancing and vibing like it's Coachella or some shit. And this is where the good kind of ends for me. There's still some good moments, but they're ruined by everything else. For one, I hate these stupid transitions. I think this is supposed to be like from a fairy's perspective, but still, like, they could have done anything else. Also, the theme song is very similar to Night Squad, except it has no lyrics.
I have to make a choice soon. Your world or my home. Time is running out.
This might be my least favorite theme song from a show I've covered. It is incredibly forgettable and adds nothing to the show. I really did enjoy the magic stuff, but it also got old pretty fast. Her doing something with magic just to fix it later happens damn near every episode, which isn't inherently a bad thing, but the problem is that it lacks progression and variety. We only ever get the main 2 spells and they're all used and resolved the exact same way. One of the last things her parents say to her before she leaves is to use her time and power wisely. At the end of her walk, she has to choose, either to go back home and rule, or stay with the humans. And between you and me, she played in their face. Homie is not coming back. You see the way she's talking to Tristan, professing her love, scarfing down Slurpees, binge watching rom-coms? She loves it here. They take a moment to show you just how little she knows about the world, and they have some fun with it. I love how skeptical Devon and Haley are of Astral. Devon immediately notices how she doesn't have an accent and has never had simple things like chocolate or strawberries. She also doesn't know what a toilet is.
Toilets will never stop being funny. Flush.
Where do you guys shit and pee? They must work for the New Yorker.
Where are the toilets? Oh, no one at the New Yorker has an anus.
There's an episode where she goes on a movie date with Tristan, and Astral doesn't know how to act.
Oh, he is so cute. Isn't he sweet?
Shh. We don't We're not actually allowed to talk in the movies.
Why not? They are.
Tristan is rightfully annoyed and embarrassed until he finds out that she's never been to a movie theater.
Have you never been to a movie before?
No.
Really? Like, not even with your parents?
No. My parents don't watch movies. They only watch birds.
Oh, nature types. I get it.
And of course, she glimmers him soon after. This show has an overarching story that builds over time, but the characters don't build with it. And you really see it in Astral. It's the same shit with her every episode. And they got the gall to wrap it up with a lesson just for her to do the same shit the next episode. There's barely any character development with her. Hell, we see more development with Devon and Morgan than her. We don't really see her change till she finds out her world's in danger. And even then, it's case by case. I know she's supposed to be young and naive, but the way they established the other walk, I was expecting some progression to mirror that. She can acknowledge the differences between them and the fairies and even learn something from them, but we don't see it applied throughout the episodes. It was hard to invest in a story that ultimately doesn't fucking mean anything. But then, something changes around episode 15. Astral is now talking about the others as a impartial observer rather than a fan, if that makes sense. In the beginning, she went about it with a sense of excitement and wonder that was based more on wanting to be a part of them than curiosity.
And I'm only just starting to figure out where I fit in, or how I fit in.
But now, the characters are moving differently. The pacing felt slower. The writing was more engaging. They reignited the construction storyline with Peter, Devon's dad, who's noticeably being more secretive. This episode has some genuine tension, with Devon torn about whether to tell Astral and Morgan that the demolition project is back on. He ultimately does pass the friend test by running to school to tell them, and the episode ends with a huge reveal.
I'm gonna argue anymore with a child. You go tell my little brother Oberon, the fairy king. If he wants to stop me, he should come here himself.
What? What?
I was wondering when you'd show up.
Hello, Petrathon.
Your real name is Petrathon? Petrathon. Stop sign! Yeah, what I thought was the show finally hitting its stride was nothing more than it shooting itself in the foot. First off, we see pieces of a looming threat to the kingdom and the other world being orchestrated by Versitude. 1, Versitude is a badass name. Just had to say that. 2, Astral mentions in a later episode that fairies get along by default.
I could feel him. If he yawns, I nap. If he's happy, I smile. If he eats a hot pepper, I belch. It's what fairies do. We're connected.
So seeing how Versitude clearly has different opinions about the kingdom and has expressed many times her disdain for humans and the other creatures, this adds to her mystique. They set her up to be a mysterious force with her own motives, but is constantly being screwed over by these dorks. And you know what? I might as well talk about it now. Homie doesn't leave after the first episode. He stays in Athenia dicking around with this other fairy. And I kinda hate this whole subplot. It has a handful of funny moments, but it doesn't really add much to the show for me, at least not into the later episodes.
I don't trust her.
I trust her about as far as I could throw her. No, wait, I probably can't throw her very far. Unless she's lighter than she looks, which wouldn't surprise me because of all her creepy floating around.
The whole bullshit with Peter kind of comes out of nowhere. It doesn't make any sense to me, because when it's revealed who he is, her parents must have known the whole time, right? They let her go on this other walk to live with her estranged uncle who she doesn't know, knowing that not only did he not like her father, but fairies as a whole. Why would you do that to your daughter? They don't love her for real. They didn't even give her a warning like, oh, by the way, heads up, you have an uncle that hates you and is actively trying to destroy us. Also, that makes Astral and Devon cousins, and Devon like part fairy?
I'm not one of you. Tell him, Dad.
Wait, so is Devon a fairy? I'm confused.
They'd have you believe this changes the whole show with the king showing up demanding Astral return home just for her to tell him no.
Astral, come.
Dad, I'm not sure I want to leave.
But the next thing we know, we're back at school with little to no consequence. The only one that seems to be affected is Devon, still processing everything. Homie found out that not only are fairies real, but he might be one of them. That's a lot to take in on a school day. He eventually decides to stand with his friends, making a hit piece against his father and his project. Devon tries to play it off like he's good with it, but he's visibly upset. And all Astral has to say is basically, sorry about your dad, but you still gonna help us, right? Also, before this, When he finds out that he could be a fairy, homie is not happy about it, and Astral takes offense to it.
No, never!
Devon, what's wrong with being a fairy? It's not a bad thing.
This is kind of an interesting dilemma. Honestly, Peter's never done anything wrong to Devon. As far as we know, he's been a good dad, besides not telling him he's a fairy. And though he likes Astral and their friends, she isn't family. This concludes with an all-out war, by the way. Peter and his demolition team versus the soldiers of Athenia.
What the hell, boy?
I don't know what I was expecting, but my expectations were low, and I was still disappointed. Also, how is this even effective? They have no magic. What exactly are they even doing? Probably just smacking the shit out of them. It ended with Devon almost getting crushed just for his dad to save him in the end, and he realizes that his grudge against fairies isn't as strong as his love for Devon, and homie just lets it go. Mind you, homie's beef with fairies stems from him falling in love with a human, and in order to marry her, he would have to forfeit the crown, which he does do, but soon after, he loses her and is heartbroken. This was kind of a letdown because beforehand, it seemed like Peter believed in humans, at least in their ideas, technology, science, etc. And we were led to believe he chose to stay here. But nah, homie's just grieving, which is less interesting, but it's a kid's show, so go off. Yeah, this episode was trash, and it doesn't get any better. Alright. Let's talk about Tristan. You know, I thought they were planning the finale since the beginning, and to be fair, maybe they were and it was just poorly executed. Alright, so in the first episode, they have a moment together, but it's played like he didn't see her, which, you know what? Sure, fine. But then, in that same episode, she enchants him, and it doesn't work. Again, could have been some foreshadowing, but then Oswald says that it wouldn't have worked anyway because of fairy law.
Why wasn't he enchanted by me?
Because you can't enchant someone for yourself. This is fairy law.
From there, he's kind of just there to be Astral's and Haley's love interest until they completely ruin her. He has some character development, but it often takes a backseat to whatever Astral's doing, or whatever plan Haley is cooking up. The finale goes as follows. We finally make it to the dance, which has been discussed all season. Astral and Tristan meet up, and he expresses her feelings for her.
I don't know any girl who can walk on air, who cares about the world so much, and is so beautiful.
Astral decides to tell him the truth and reveals her fairy form, in front of everybody, I might add. Just for Tristan to reveal his fairy form too. Yeah, he was a fairy the whole time. They share a sweet moment, but it is ruined by the return of Versatude, the king, and the queen.
Get away from that Spartanian.
What?
How could you not tell us? I was only doing what's best for Athenia.
Mom, I don't understand.
Oswald discovered that Tristan is the lost prince of Spartania.
Tristan, is this true?
I don't know. I don't know where I came from or who I am.
The ancient leaves tell of a lost prince who will conquer all of Athenia.
Come, boy. It's time you finally returned home.
No! I am not going anywhere!
Don't do this!
I am your king! You will do as I command!
Astral!
Astral! Time to leave, Astral.
Did you get all that?
Fuck no, baby!
Yeah, homie is some long-lost fairy that's a part of a prophecy to destroy Athenia? So like, did they know the prophecy before finding out who he is? Or did Versatude know and just withheld that information? What was her plan the whole time? I have so many questions. Yeah, nah, this was some bullshit. How you gonna basically dump an entire piece of lore that was never brought up in the show before and then just leave? This didn't leave me wanting more. If anything, I was glad that it ended after this because I would have hated to see how they were going to try to piece this all together. This didn't feel like a cliffhanger ending. Rather, it felt more like the show was giving up on itself. This was a show that started decent, had some bright spots, made some interesting changes, but ultimately amounted to nothing. Princess Astral, played by Esther Zen. I meant to say this earlier. Astral is a hard name. That shit's tough. And I still can't get over Versatude. Your name is Versatude, nigga? That sounds straight out of My Hero. Astral was a decent character. Very flawed and naive, but she means well. The progression of Astral's character is slow, if not non-existent. She's constantly being told to ease off the magic, but she doesn't. And things continuously get her in trouble or blow up in her face, being hella negligent with her powers. All moments of her learning about humans don't stick. I don't know what an other walk is, but she sucks at it. In fact, the whole idea of an other walk is just an excuse for her to be here. It has little to no weight on her character. There's an episode where Versatude shows up, calling her out on her use of magic, and she kinda got a point.
I didn't realize that you were risking the safety of your kingdom for some silly infatuation?
Astral's been dicking around since she got here. From her perspective, Astral isn't really doing anything except meddling with her magic, and her response to this is basically her saying,
Haven't you ever seen a smile that makes you go all tingly inside?
nigga, have you? You barely know this dude.
You will be wise to heed my words. This never ends well.
Versatude.
One day your feelings will cause you great pain.
I guess you can say she was right. Also, thinking about it, her doing all this while actively rooting for her and the kingdom's downfall is kind of funny. She isn't all bad. She has her moments. I like the detail of her using rom-coms and other TV shows and movies to learn about humans. That's a bit of a charming way to do it. And I was glad to see that Astral got a backbone. Shit was going to be annoying if she was all goody-goody all the time. Like when she stood up for her kingdom to Peter, or when she stood her ground against her father. I like the dynamic / rivalry with Haley, being one of the only people in the school that can get under her skin.
It's not our fault! You're the one who started it! I didn't make everyone have a food fight! You are being mean!
Everyone calm down.
Haley's no threat. She's like a dandelion. In the beginning, she's pretty and yellow, but in the end, everyone will realize she's just fluff.
This has the same vibe as that sandpaper bit from Finding Temptations.
You said when life makes you have to put up with mean and hateful people, just think of them as sandpaper. They may scratch you, rub you the wrong way, but eventually, you'll end up smooth and polished. And the sandpaper, it's just gonna be worn out and ugly.
But anywho. But it goes both ways. She be getting Astral hot for real. There's an episode where Haley takes her drink and she gets so pissed off, she starts airbending.
You! I don't know how you did that, but I know it was you!
Food fight! Are food fights real? Genuine question. I've only ever seen them on TV. Not to say I wanted to be in one. The idea of throwing food around sounds disgusting. A kid tried to start one in middle school, but before he got a chance, a teacher tackled him. Yeah, real spill. I mentioned her items and spells, but Astral has her own abilities. She floats when she gets excited, she can cause thunderstorms, when overstimulated or angry she airbends, and she can shoot lightning? Oh shit, wait a minute. There's an episode where she tries to do gymnastics, because of Tristan, of course, and apparently she's hella good at it, saying it's no different than flying.
Just take it easy and lean back.
It's just like flying.
Which, is that how that works? What do you mean by that? Like the muscles you use to fly is similar to doing gymnastics? Or is it like how Omni-Man described flying to Mark?
It's kind of like peeing your pants on purpose.
What? In Athenia, fairies feel each other's emotions in real time. That's how they understand and bond with each other. This is a little too intimate for me. This actually sounds terrible. The hell you mean he eats a pepper and you belch? Is it that deep for y'all? What if one of y'all breaks a bone? Do you all feel it? Do you all work in a hive mind? Fairies also lose their powers during an eclipse.
Petrathon has planned construction for the time of the dimming.
With the moon eclipsing the sun, all fairies will lose their powers.
Fire Nation face ass. They don't get sick normally, but since Astral's in her human form, she can catch something. And of course, she does get sick and get the annoying gimmick we see every time someone with special powers gets sick. Weird bullshit happens every time they sneeze or cough, like turning Tristan into a rat.
Tristan? Tristan!
You ever had rat in your mouth, bitch? Oh!
There was an episode that was kind of confusing. This is a dodgeball episode, and after winning her first game with the help of her fairy strength, Astral starts getting really into it. Apparently, she's never won anything before. In fact, fairies don't have a concept of winning.
Have you never won anything before?
We don't have winning in Athenia. We have games, but no one ever thought of having someone beat someone else. It feels so good.
If that's true, how do y'all decide battles? You have an army, we see it, and you've mentioned war before. This is the same episode where Tristan left and she sat in his seat and sipped his drink. Am I the only one that thinks that's weird? Yeah, you like them, but that don't mean you should drink after them. But back to Dodgeball. While Astral was talking about how great it felt to win, Morgan mentions that she read somewhere that darkness can take over a fairy.
Doing something weird to you, Astral. I've read that darkness can take over a fairy. It could happen to you if you're not careful.
I'm not entirely sure what that means. Is she saying her competitiveness is the darkness? Is it winning? I even considered it being the ominous storm that keeps appearing and disappearing in the background. I know in reality, it's just showcasing how being overly competitive is toxic and winning isn't everything. But I thought for a second that they were playing with a double meaning here. They even make a point to mention Astral having a dark side at the end.
Princess, you have a dark side, a weakness. Your light dimmed once. I can make it go out forever.
One of my favorite episodes is the one where Astral finds a job. Fairies have no concept of money, but in order to get the dress she wants for the dance, she has to find a job. This was a fun watch. I wish they did more episodes like this. I prefer the slice of life style with a couple magic elements than episodes where magic or Tristan is the main focus. One of my favorite parts of her character is her friendship with Morgan. It feels like a real friendship. Even when Morgan is fangirling over Astral being a fairy, it never feels like that's all that she's here for, if that makes sense. Another favorite bit of hers is in an earlier episode where she basically has a choice between either going with Haley to a party or staying with Morgan.
You're right. They are good friends. And I like the life I've already stepped into.
So yeah, Astral was a fine character. Devon, played by Taylor Adams, for a character that's been in almost every episode, I don't have that much to say about Devon. He's a solid character, he had one of the better performances in my opinion, and homie is low-key funny and has some of the best comedic timing in the whole show.
Might be nice having a girl around.
A girl's gonna harsh our vibe. We're just two guys living la vida loca. Seize the day, dude! Believe in your dreams, dude! You are a wise man, Devon.
Shut the fuck up.
Homie just wanted to be alone. He wanted a simple life, just to find out that he's half fairy. He has a decent arc, becoming more confident and willing to take more risks. He acts as the main straight man in the show, and I feel he does his job well. He has great chemistry with everyone, my favorite pairing being with either Haley or Morgan. Speaking of that, he and Morgan have a couple moments together. In the first half, I thought he was gonna fall for Haley, just for Morgan to profess her feelings at the end. But nah, Morgan and Devon find their way there on their own.
For someone who didn't even want to go to the dance, you sure are Mr. Opinions right now. Why do you care?
I don't...
Then why'd you bring it up? It's not like you were gonna ask me. Wait, were you?
Yes.
We don't see them formally get together, but it was nice to at least get this moment together. I wish they explored how he feels about fairies, especially after finding out about his dad. I don't know, there could have been some compelling moments between him and Astral. Maybe even a heel turn from Devon? Perhaps, but yeah. Overall, Devon was an okay character. Morgan, played by Selena Martin, Morgan is pretty good. I mentioned her relationship with Devon, but I really enjoyed her and Astral. They felt like genuine friends, and I loved the time they took with it. Throughout the show, you see them grow closer and closer. I think it was a good call to have Morgan find out the truth about Astral. Morgan saw everything, basically her floating, her enchantments, all of it. And when you find out her love of fairies, it makes sense how she would be a bit more observant to some of the weird stuff happening. And to be fair, I think it would be pretty hard to explain this stuff away to someone who adamantly believes.
Why do you know so much about fairies? When I was little, I didn't have many friends. So my dad gave me a book about fairies and said, you'll never be lonely if you believe in fairies. Because they're everywhere, always watching after you. Yeah, that's what we do.
I was hoping that this would turn into something about Morgan's dad potentially being a fairy, but nope, didn't happen. From here, Morgan is completely locked in on all things fairies, but it never feels one-sided. Like I said before, it never feels like Morgan is only here for the fairy stuff.
And horns, we can pass the trolls. What will people say when they see us?
Who cares?
I'm always proud to be seen with my bestie.
But she can have her moments. There's a part where Astral needs to talk to her parents and brings Morgan along.
Oh my goblin! All of my dreams are coming true!
I know your mama raised you in a barn, but around these parts, we have some decorum, okay?
Also, not gonna lie, they looked a lot cooler in their own world. Out here, they look like a bunch of LARPers. Another thing I liked about Morgan was how she acted as a pseudo-guide for Astral. She would explain all the concepts and why humans, particularly human boys, do what they do. And she was the main one in her corner just trying to keep her focused. Honestly, she was the only one that was actively trying to progress the story. So yeah, Morgan was a solid character.
I'm Haley Grimm, and yes, I do have older brothers, but no, they don't tell me fairy tales.
Haley Grimm, played by Josette Helpert. Haley Grimm is my favorite character and is the best thing about the show. She kind of reminds me of Rachel Berry from Glee, except I actually like her. We only stand Mercedes and Santana in this house.
Well, Rachel, congratulations. Normally you dress like the fantasy of a perverted Japanese businessman with a very dark specific fetish, but I actually dig this look.
Damn, nigga! She's ruthless and ambitious. She's also obsessive, abrasive, and borderline insane. But damn, is she fun to watch.
Aloha, losers! That means hello and goodbye. But losers is the same in every language. Mom! You don't say. Got it. On the way. Love to stay and talk, but Mom just told me she had to rush Benji to the vet.
Benji's your brother.
I know, right? It's gonna take two of us to hold him down. Bye! If we're going to get to know each other better, we need to have some more spontaneous outside of school hangouts, as per my spontaneous hangout flowchart.
There's a whole garden at home.
I don't know what this is, but Haley Grimm is no carrot. If I was a vegetable, I'd be a potato because I'm versatile and I have eyes everywhere. But Morgan, she's not ready for the big leagues. Can she get ready? A complete makeover could be a start.
Damn, Nick. Devon has his moments, but Haley is the funniest character. She be cooking niggas, and everything she says and the way she carries herself has a deep conviction, and it helps with the character and comedy. Josette had the best performance in the show, hands down for me. My favorite episode of hers is when Astral and Morgan sneak out the house to go to the mall, leading to everyone getting detained by security. I love how she's the only one losing her mind. In the first half, her character was kind of interesting. There was a bit where she meets Astral and decides to be like her transfer student sister. I forgot what it's called, but it's here where we see a little bit of depth to her character.
So many options. Who do you sit with? No one. I'm my own clique. Friendly to all, besties to none. That way, I get invited to all the parties.
It's played for laughs, but it gets kind of deep in some places. We see the lengths Haley will go to be accepted, while also not trying to be the center of attention. It kind of reminds me of Devon a little bit, but inverted, if that makes sense. But of course, none of this is explored beyond this episode. Though you notice throughout the show that no one really pays attention to Haley. They kind of just ignore her, low-key. They be looking at her like, oh, there go Haley on her bullshit again. From here, she acts as the main foil to Astral and really turns it up when she finds out her secret.
When your light's this bright, you can't hide it. Explosions are bad. Keep them hidden. That way Haley won't...
Beat this bitch up.
Now, I've already talked about my issues with the show, but another aspect of it that I did not mention is how they treated Haley's character. They do her dirty towards the end, pairing her up with this nigga. I hate this for her. They've already made some changes to her character I didn't like, plus the handful of episodes where she's just gone, but this really ruined it for me. I just didn't buy into this relationship or his impact, and honestly, the writers might not have either, hence why they dialed her back some. She loses some of her grit from the early episodes, and now instead of being someone to watch out for, she's treated more like a joke. I don't mind character development, especially for a character like Haley. I'm glad we got to see more of a human side to her, but I hate that it had to come at the cost of some of her attributes. And I hate that one of her compelling moments was because of bitch-ass Brandoni. I don't even have a dedicated section for him in this video because I don't really have much to say about him. But what I do have to say about him is mostly negative. I hate him. My nigga is just loud, gross, and annoying, and they have the audacity to give him some actual character meaning towards the end. And sure, it was nice to see him grow some compassion over the time he spent with the others. And yeah, maybe Haley helped with that, but she didn't deserve to be denied by him, Brandoni, this nigga. Ew. He had her standing there at his locker looking goofy. I hated this whole scene. This whole thing pissed me off. Homie playing it off like he's listening to music just to deliberately ignore her, and she's standing there gobsmacked like, girl, get up, girl, get up. Brandoni talk about, yeah, I know. Bitch, shoot him. But despite all that, I still really enjoyed Haley, and honestly got me through the show. Yeah, The Other Kingdom is definitely a show. It's not one of the worst shows I've seen on the channel, and like I said, it has some bright spots, but man, it just really couldn't put it all together. Though the acting was decent, the writing was shoddy, and the overall pace was so inconsistent. Maybe if they would have led with the tone they established in episode 15, or maybe if they didn't change anything, we could have had a different outcome. And though I did enjoy the world they created, and if I'm being honest, I wouldn't mind seeing this explored in a different angle, it ultimately just wasn't enough. The Other Kingdom would air its last episode on June 19, 2016, and by January 2017 would be officially canceled.
Is anybody surprised about what happened?
Nope. And from what I can gather, the main cause was low ratings. Yeah, I don't think it needed a season 2. Maybe like a TV movie or like one grand finale special or something. No, if I'm being honest, I am a little bit curious how they were gonna try to clean up what they did in the season finale.
I guess we'll never know.
This show is not streamed anywhere. It was available on Prime Video, but not anymore. I'm telling y'all, man, Nickelodeon with that shovel, some holes are deep. The Other Kingdom was a show that had a lot to offer, had really good ideas, funny characters, and a fairly compelling world. And though some say it was cut too soon, I think it is fair to say that for those who were there, it will never be forgotten. But hey, you don't have to take my word for it.